The salmon fishing right now is pretty good. There's a lot of small fish around. There's a lot of 3 to 5 pounders, and they're the little winter feeders. And I really don't like to go out and be hauling through those, catching and releasing a lot of them, because I imagine the mortality rate does pick up. But you can still get some nice fish out there. But just remember, you catch a fish, keep it, take it home for dinner. Don't go slogging all day releasing a bunch of small fish. And there are there's 10 to 20 pounders out there too. So the secret there, of course, if you're going to catch those winter Chinooks, is to find the bait. If you can find the bait, you'll usually find the salmon. And also fish deep. A lot of times on the bottom is a great place. Just basically hugging that bottom as tight as you can. And you should do quite well in the salmon fishing. But the really big thing is now after February 1st, the halibut season has opened up. And a lot of people want to go halibut fishing, but a lot of people just don't know how to go halibut fishing, or don't know what to do or where to start. So Pedder Bay Marina, which is my home marina, the management there have asked me if I could sort of put together a bit of a blog on how to catch halibut. So I've decided that over the next month I'm going to be putting some videos up, not long ones. This will probably be the longest one of them all, but they're putting videos up, which will basically be a course on catching halibut in the waters of Juan de Fuca. And of course, you can take these very same tactics, and you can use them on the west coast, or up off Quadra Island, or up off the north end. Anywhere you want to. It's the standard way a lot of times to halibut fish. But the first thing you have to think of is, where do you want to fish? And when is the best time to fish? Well, the best time to go halibut fishing is when the waters are smooth. Don't go out when there's wind warnings out. The reason being is most of the time you will be, dropping an anchor somewhere at a distance from your home port. And if there's bad weather, it can get pretty bad. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off with checking our weather report, and then from there we're going to go into finding, how to locate your fish, and then after that we will go into everything from rigging to how to measure them properly, and how to bring them into the boat, and how to clean them, and probably even do a little bit of cooking as well. So this is going to be a fun time for me to just sort of spend the next couple of months, or the next month, in showing you some of the tricks that I have learned for catching halibut in our southern waters. Now, if you have an Android phone, or you have an iOS phone, which is an Apple phone, there's an app you can get. And I really recommend you get this app. It's free to download. It's called Navionics. And but when you download it, you're also going to want to download some map, or some maps to go with it, especially the map of the area where you're going to fish. And your location service will find out where you're at, and then it'll automatically download a map for you usually. But get that chart. We'll call it a map. We're nautical, so we should be calling it a chart. But get that chart, and that's going to really show you, and I'm going to show you here how to use it. Okay. Now, when we look here at the chart, I brought it up here so you can see it. You can see where I'm at. Well, it appears I'm nowhere, right? Well, if we just move over here a little bit, you'll see a red arrow. Wherever that red arrow is where you're at this particular moment, whether it's on land or on the ocean.
So here we are. This is, we're opened up here. See right in the center there, there's it looks like an anchorage. Well, that's Pedder Bay Marina, as you can tell, read it right there. And as we come out of Pedder Bay Marina, you'll see these little towers here. Okay, now this tower here, this is tidal. So if I put the cursor in the middle of that tower, and I click on the little question mark there, it shows me exactly where the tide is at. It is flooding right now. It's going up, and You can see when we look down below here, you can see exactly what the tide has been doing. So we're coming up to near to the end of it's like going on to 3 o'clock. So you can see where the tide is now high, but it's going to be doing a big drop. Well, you don't want to be fishing this big drop here. This is where you want to be fishing right here, which would have been between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. You can see where it's just a nice gentle rise, a nice gentle flood. Perfect time to be halibut fishing, not a lot high rise in water. Now the other thing you want to do is if we just carry down here, we look here, you'll see that this is race rocks right here. You'll see that there's another type, it's a big arrow, and it's showing the direction of your current. So we're going to come down here and we will put the cursor over top of that and click on it. And what we have now is we have this current. This is what the current is. And you can see right now where the current is very, very slow, heading easterly. It's just been past a tide change. If we'd been here a little earlier, we'd have been on the tide change, and you can see where the tide would have been going this way here. You know, it'd been going west. Okay, so it's really important that you look at this here to see what your current's going to be. Now, in around the race, you have a lot of current through here, so you're going to have a lot more current through here than if you go out a little bit. So let's just head out a little ways here. Out here, this is Constance Banks right here. See, it says Constance Banks here. A lot of tide drips in here, as it says. There's the tide, water's really flooding over it, but here you can see the tide is running easterly, and if we just click here and we move this over to that, you will see when we hit the question mark that it comes up. You see it's slower here than it was at the race. It's only half a knot here, and it's going to go up to a knot, and then it's going to start dropping again after that. So you can see even on that drop there's not much current here. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for slow current all the time, and this is really a great way to check your currents. Now you'll notice on these charts that there's all these contours. It tells you where you're at here, and it tells your contour. Now if your boat was sitting here, it would show your boat as an arrow, right? So, but you can. What you want to do really when you're fishing these waters is it's usually best to anchor. Now you got to be careful here. You see where it says pilot here? There are some big ships that anchor here, so you want to make sure you're trying to stay out of these shipping lanes as much as you can as well. But especially on anchor, okay? You're okay to troll out there, but watch your anchoring here. Here's these big mud banks here you can see here, but you're really looking for structure. And you can see here where just off of William Head here, you come out. You can see how it comes up 164 feet, 207 feet. Well, this could be a really nice place right here to drop an anchor. Okay, because you're coming out of deep water and you're up around 249 feet, and you've got a current which is pushing this way. So and also remember your feed a lot of times when you have strong current stays on the bottom, but then when the current's less it'll move more, but it usually tries to hide behind the current. It usually tries to hide behind the structure a lot of times as well as fish do a lot of times as well. So so you can see your structure, you anchor here. Be careful that you don't anchor in tight structure. So you see here at the race here, you see how there's all these rocks throughout here. You don't want to anchor in that because you're probably going to lose your anchor when you try and pull it. And there's nothing worse than having to pull it because your current's starting to go and you cannot get your anchor up. So it's usually you're in trouble. Okay, you have to cut a rope. So you don't want to do that there. So try and stay out in these areas here, like this here. Where you have the little humps and off of the little humps, and that's where you want to anchor. and that's basically it. So you have a chart here which you can actually navigate with, and we're not going to get into how to navigate on this chart here because that would be another course, but it shows you where you are sitting and where the contours are, what the current is, and what the tide is doing. So all those things can really help you in your fishing. Okay, so that's it as far as this chart is concerned. It's a great chart. It's a good one to have out in the boat if something was to happen where your own electronics went down. You still got this chart, and this chart works off of your GPS on your phone. It doesn't work off of the Wi-Fi, and it doesn't work off the telephone. So it's a real handy tool to have. Okay, so that's it. Be safe on the water and enjoy the water. And within a week, I'm going to get a little bit into anchoring in one of these chosen locations.